My name's Eden. I'm a plus size yoga instructor and I'm going to be leading you through a balancing flow today. Grab a block if you think you'll need it, a blanket if you have sensitive knees, and let's meet on our mats. We're going to start kneeling today. I'm going to go ahead and tuck my toes under and take a seat on my heels. If this doesn't feel great for you, feel free to slide a blanket underneath here, underneath your knees, or underneath your feet, whatever's going to make you feel comfortable. We're going to start off by taking some deep breaths. Fully bring your breath in through your belly, expanding your lungs fully and letting it out. Bring your hands to your chest, feeling the rise as you inhale and fall as you exhale. Unclenching your jaw, wiggling your eyebrows and relaxing them, relaxing your shoulders, giving them a few rolls up, down, and back. You're going to open your eyes, inhale your arms overhead. Exhale, bring your arms like a goalpost, called cactusing your arms, pushing your chest forward, opening the heart, staying with your breath and feeling the stretch in your chest. Inhale, exhale, bringing your arms together, trying to touch your elbows together, pressing your back out, rounding through the back. And just take this for a few rounds, opening up cactus arms, opening the chest, exhaling, bringing the elbows together, rounding the back. Bring audible with your breath. Next, exhale, arms come down to your side. We tuck our toes under for yogi toe stretch or fire pose. A lot of fascia builds up in our feet as we walk around throughout the day, as we sleep. We don't get to stretch your feet as much as you should. If you have plantar fasciitis, this is a fantastic stretch to do. All you do is tuck your toes under, and then slightly sit back until you feel the stretch in the soles of your feet. As we do this, I want you to take your right arm, wrap it under your left arm like a bear hug, and pull up slightly to stretch the shoulder, your left shoulder. This can also be done in eagle arms. I have a very big chest, so I'm not able to do eagle arms, so a bear hug is just fine. Inhale, exhale, unravel. Bring the left arm under the right elbow, pulling up just slightly, enough to stretch your right shoulder and lengthening the back slightly as we breathe into this fire stretch in our toes. Unravel. Come down to your tabletop, pedal off those feet. Do whatever you need to do to release any stretch that you got in your feet. I like to roll my toes on the mat and pedal them out. Take a big inhale here. head side to side. Releasing the neck, let it fall. Bringing your head to your left shoulder. And then your right ear to touch your right shoulder. Back and forth. Nod yes and no. Just to stretch out the neck. On your next inhale, you're going to step your right foot on the outside of your hands. So outside of your hands. Then you're going to lengthen your left leg out. This is lizard pose. It's one of the few times we're going to get to open up your hip in this practice. So really embrace it. If your knee isn't feeling this, you can turn over and do a figure 4 on your back. But if you're able to, really release into this lizard pose. If your hip isn't lighting up and you don't feel some fire in it, go ahead and lengthen your leg a little bit further. Toes can be tucked or flat, whatever you prefer. One more inhale. Exhale, come back to tabletop. Just fire hydrant that leg. Big inhale. Exhale. Next inhale, we're going to bring our left foot to the outside of our hands for that lizard pose, lengthening your right leg. If you're not feeling a stretch, if you're super flexible like I am, you can give your leg a little press to feel a little bit more fire on the inside of your hip flexor. Staying with your breath always. Stepping back into tabletop. Fire hydrant in your leg. Giving that hip some sweet rotation. Take a deep breath in. Let it out. Shift forward a little bit if you need to make sure that your wrists are pretty much under your shoulders. Go ahead and tuck your toes. And we're going to hover for just a couple of breaths. So what you're going to do is you're going to press the ground away from you hard. Bring your knees off of the ground just slightly. This is called beast pose. Breathing. And release. Keep your toes tucked. Engage your palms all the way through the mat. Wide fingers, gripping the mat with your fingertips. Pressing the toes, lengthening the legs into your downward facing dog. Pedaling out the legs here. Feeling a nice stretch in your calves and hamstrings. Bending your knees a little bit. Just exploring the different areas and expressions of this pose. Bend your knees. Walk your hands to your feet or feet to your hands. Whatever's easiest for you. Take a nice inhale. Feet are just about as wide as my mat. And fold forward. Let your neck relax. Crown of your head pointing towards your mat. Hands touch the ground or a block, or grab opposite elbows. I'm feeling a few little pops in my back, which means I really need this pose. So take advantage. You can grab the backs of your ankles, put your hands under your feet. Options are endless here. going to release, stand back up, feet still the width of your mat, rolling your shoulders back. I'm going to take a step to the front of my mat, however you want to get there, it doesn't matter. I'm going to start connecting my feet to my mat. I really want a firm foundation for this practice. So I'm going to lift my toes up and start by placing my pinky toe down, then my second toe, my ring, what would be my ring toe, I guess, my middle toe, and then my big toe. Really fully engaging the feet, all four corners, pushing into the ground, like roots basically, holding you into your mat. We're going to bring our hands to mountain. Close our eyes. Feel the connection between you and your mat. Feel the firmness between you and your mat. Give yourself a little bit of buoyancy. And then lock firmly in. As you lock firmly in, we're going to start to bend into our knees and hinge at our hips for a chair pose. Inhale, sweeping your arms overhead. If chair pose is bothering your lower back, maybe you need to come up a little. Maybe you need to go down a little. Maybe you need to lengthen your spine because you're dumping weight into your low back. So pull your chest up and open like we did with that cactus and see if that helps your low back. Firmly connected into the ground. We're going to start to bring our arms down, back to mountain. And as we bring our arms to mountain, we're going to lift our heels off the ground. Focusing on something ahead. You may feel your calves jiggle a bit. You may feel shaky, but stay with this. One big inhale and exhale. Inhale, and on our exhale, we're going to start to lengthen our legs, staying on our toes. Bow your chest forward and airplane your arms behind you. This should be challenging, keeping those heels up. Big inhale and exhale. Inhale, let it go. Your next inhale, return back to your chair pose, sweeping your hands overhead. Inhale, exhale. On your next inhale, lengthen your right leg. Start to shift the weight to your right leg. Bring your left toes to the mat. And start to raise your left foot off of the mat into a balancing mountain. Your hands can be wherever you need them to balance. And slowly, like you're moving through honey, step your foot way, way back into a high lunge. Then we're going to pivot just slightly and plant our heel. Your front toes will be slightly facing towards the top corner of your mat. And lunge back into your right leg. Arms come overhead for your warrior one pose. Inhale deeper into that lunge. Exhale, let out any tension. Inhale, exhale. Your next inhale, soak it up. Exhale, fold forward over your knee. Your hands can come to the floor or a block or behind your back for humble warrior. Sticking with your breath. On your your next inhale, you're going to bring your left hand and rise to the back of your left thigh, bringing your right hand overhead for an exalted warrior. Think reverse warrior, but in warrior one. Lifting, arching the back, feeling the slight opening of the chest. Exhale, bring your left foot to meet. Exhale, come back to your warrior one. Inhale, bring your left foot to meet your right foot. Shake out your right leg. It's done a lot of hard work. Bring your legs wide on your mat and fold forward. Taking advantage of this moment to rest. Inhale, roll up. Roll your shoulders back. Bring your feet to hip-width distance apart. Inhale, let it go. Inhale, and as you exhale, start to bend the knees. Hinge at the hips. Arms go overhead. Chair pose. Big inhales, and exhale. On your next inhale, bring your heels off the mat. Arms in whatever expression help you balance. They can be overhead, they can be in mountain. Yogi's choice. Big inhale, let it go. As you inhale, start to lengthen your legs, bow with the chest. Arms come behind you for airplane arms. Keeping your heels off of the mat. Big inhale, exhale, come back down, returning to your chair pose. Slowly rise to standing, shifting your weight to your left leg. Right toes hovering over the mat. Focusing on something that's not moving in front of you. And lifting your right foot to balancing mountain. Taking a big inhale. Exhale, slowly stepping back like you're moving through honey into a high runner's lunge. Sweeping your hands overhead, pivoting your foot slightly and placing it down. Your toes pointing towards the outside of your mat, about a 45-degree angle, re-lunging into your front leg for a warrior one pose. Taking a big inhale and an exhale. Big inhale. Exhale. One more inhale, and on your exhale, fold forward. Staying lunged in your left knee. Hands can come to blocks, to the floor, or behind you. Humble warrior. Head goes long, extending your spine long. Inhale, rise up. Your right hand coming to the back of your right thigh. Left hand reaching back, pulling your core long while engaging the whole time. letting your shoulders slightly drop to open the chest. Inhale, exhale, come back to standing. Inhale, exhale, into that warrior lunge for one more second before bringing your right foot to meet your left foot. Stepping wide, folding forward, shaking out your legs if you need to. This next sequence we're going to take a bit quicker. Just bring your feet hip width distance apart. Swing your arms up. Dip into your chair pose. We're going to take our right foot, step it way, way back into a high lunge. Dip into your left leg. Really feeling this lunge. You're going to inhale. On your exhale, cactus your arms and dip into a lunge push-up. If that doesn't feel good for you, cactus your arms. This will take more balance. That's your second option. Inhale, exhale, cactus arms. Inhale, exhale, cactus arms. You're going to shift your weight into your left foot. Slightly start to lift your right foot off of the ground. You can use a block if you need to. Into your warrior three pose. Pressing your foot firmly into the mat. Looking straight ahead to the top of your mat. Then coming back down. Stepping your right foot to meet your left. And folding forward. Inhale, sweep back into your chair pose. Stepping your left foot way, way back into your high runner's lunge. Inhaling overhead. Remember your option to balance and flutter. If you want to opt out of the lunge, come to your lunge. Inhale, exhale, we cactus. Inhale, come up. Exhale, we cactus. Inhale, exhale, we cactus. Inhale, we start to shift our weight to our right foot. Slowly bringing your left toes off the mat into your warrior three pose. Hands in whatever expression help you balance. That can be here. Woo! This is real life, y'all. You may need a block. Our hands may be here. Then return back down to your lunge as gracefully as possible. Stepping forward, folding forward. Releasing your neck. Feeling your heartbeat. Inhale, rise up, arms come overhead, back to mountain. Simply turn around, crawl your hands to downward facing dog. Inhale your right leg into the air, three-legged dog. Exhale. Bring it through the center for pigeon pose. If you need to release, to get a little bit more stretch in the outside of the hip flexor. This is perfect. Put your palms back into the mat. Tuck your left toe. Press through your left toe and return back to downward facing dog. Sticking with your breath always. Lifting your left leg into the sky. Three-legged dog. And bringing it through for pigeon. Raise your chest up, nice and proud. If it's comfortable, take your right leg, swing it around to our seated tree pose. Your left sole of your foot will be on the inside of your inner thigh. You can lean into this pose. But right now, we're going to take our left hand, place it right behind your bum, press up, pushing your hips out as far as possible. And as your hips come out, it will allow your back to bend into our Stargazer pose. Really stretching out that hip in your back. Returning back to seated. Switching sides. Right sole of your foot touching the inside of your left thigh. Bringing your right hand behind you. Pressing up, you're going to push your hips forward. It helps to push the sole or the heel of your foot into the mat or the ground. And push. And it'll allow your back to bend, giving you a nice hip stretch and a nice back stretch. Stargazer pose. Come down whenever you're ready. Lying on your mat. Windshield wipering your thighs. Giving yourself a nice big hug. Thanking your body for all that it did today. And moving into a resting pose. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Namaste, yogis.